Bruh. This is the third time this year where a new Sonic announcement was randomly teased in a gaming presentation with no heads up. First Shadow Gens in a state of play, then the movie 3-pack in another state of play, and now this new racing game at the Game Awards? Still not used to this. Anyway, a new Sonic Kart racer is in the works, and at the moment I don't have much to feel for it. Can you blame me though? The last one they did was just a cheap attempt at a cash grab. Plus, I would have preferred a new racing game in the style of the Sonic Riders duology, and I know a lot of other folks feel the same way. But oh well, I won't lose faith just yet. I'd say the standard kart racing series has a chance of redeeming itself with this new entry in plenty of ways. I'll be naming some improvements and ideas that most people I know can agree on, along with a few others that I think will make this game worthwhile. First things first, we could really use some new and fresh gameplay variety and gimmicks that won't get repetitive easily. People always say that Transformed is the best one in the kart racing series, and I think no different of that. One of the things I and many others loved was, well, the transformation abilities, allowing to ride on not just land, but the air and sea as well, and that was fun as all hell. That rhymed. All TSR had was the team mechanic, which I didn't like simply because it reminds me of that. The new trailer didn't reveal much of anything, which is where the detectives come from, with them working their magic and hunting the clues for us. What we know is that this game will involve the player going across dimensions and such, which the title of the game implies. It also says race across land, sea, air, space, and time, which could confirm that the car transformations are back in this game, and that's great! Something else I want you all to take notice of is that in this screenshot, we can see one of the extreme gear boards from the Riders games being covered by a sheet. Chances are high that it could be just an Easter egg of some kind, but if Sega really wants this game to sell well, that sure as hell shouldn't just be there for show and not have any involvement with the game. Also, chances are that this game will likely have a story mode, and I don't know how that'll be. I didn't think the adventure mode in TSR was all that great, seeing as the story is just the characters saying, "I don't trust this guy," over and over. All I can hope for is actual animated cutscenes that aren't just renders with text boxes over a random background, but I highly doubt that's possible. Or maybe we can get another CGI animated intro or something. Whatever the story will be, it'll for sure have something to do with worlds colliding or whatever, so if that's the case, you might as well have some good presentation to show it off. Speaking of which, the logo for this game kinda gives me PTSD for a reason I can't quite figure out. No. Oh no. No! 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 Alright, I'm calm now. But all I'm gonna say is, for the love of rings, please do not try to connect these two things together. I'm begging ya. Next thing I would want is a consistent online mode. If you were like me and played nothing but TSR when it came out, you most likely would want to try out the online mode. The only problem is, nobody was playing the game online at the time. And for the 2 people on the planet that were online, the game's online would lag and disconnect way too easily and was very unengaging. You could argue this as either being just a problem with how stable your internet may be or the console you're playing it on, but there was hardly anything you could do to fix it either way. CrossWorlds will obviously have an online mode since there's no reason for it not to be included, and I would love for it to just be reasonable and not the best online experience you could simply ask for. Just let it work. And how about some cross-platform multiplayer while you're at it? I know quite a few people who would like to connect to different consoles and play games like this together. Another obvious requirement would be a variety of new courses to race around in with new modes and challenges for the single players. That means there should hardly be any tracks ported over from the last 3 games, but as we know, this franchise is notorious for rehashing the same environments, so that's most likely out the window. I'd love to be wrong, though. Yeah, I know Mario Kart games do that a lot, but at least they keep things refreshing and occasionally change up how the retro tracks play and have loads of new tracks to complement off of. But the Sonic ones often port over the same tracks with little to no differences whatsoever. For example, Seaside Hill is literally just the same loops and turns over and over when looking back at it. The first game was sitting at 24 tracks, while the other 2 were sitting at 21 tracks. That's pretty embarrassing. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 48 tracks along with 48 more additional tracks, which makes a grand total of 96 tracks. I'm not asking for CrossWorlds to have the exact same number, but they can at least have most tracks that don't feel cheap and lazy like the majority of the ones in TSR. Although I adored the Unleashed representation in the game with the remixes and enhanced versions of Rooftop Run and Cool Edge. Would love to see that again. One thing that this game could really use is a huge selection of characters to play as. Even if it's not gonna include any other Sega IPs, not to say that it shouldn't, they very well need to have tons of Sonic characters to choose from, because the roster in Team Racing was so not it. I'm still bummed that Cream, Espio, and Charmy got snubbed in TSR just like everyone else. CrossWorlds could easily just be different dimensions in the Sonic universe, but I'm just saying that it would be a smart opportunity to have Sega-related characters get in on the fun again. Here are some recommendations: Ai, Knights, Amigo, Billy Hatcher, Beat, and the list goes on. Oh, and please don't include Zavok, pretty please. What this game needs overall is just more than enough reasons as to why people would want to play it. And can the items actually be much more inventive this time and not just wisps? All of this may sound like I'm the kind of person that would expect the best gaming experience from just a racing game, which really isn't the case. Even if the game doesn't turn out the way I or others want it, I would just like for the game to have an identity so it doesn't come off as just another Mario Kart knockoff. Let it feel inspired, to say the least. All I'm really wanting is for the game to be a fun experience for anyone who's a fan of these type of games to enjoy. It definitely won't surpass or be as grand as Mario Kart, but the devs just need to make it seem like they care. Obviously, there's not much to go off of, as this was just a teaser trailer, so who knows when the next trailer will come out, or even the game for that matter. Shouldn't be that long now, as this is just a spin-off game and not a mainline Sonic title. At least the marketing for CrossWorlds feels like it has a lot more confidence than any of the teasers or trailers for TSR combined. It really didn't help that the game got delayed to 2019 when they were originally aiming for a winter 2018 release. Even with the delay, I feel the game just lacked an identity and didn't have much of anything going for it overall. I still don't think it's possible for me to get an understandable answer as to why the mobile version, aka Sonic Racing, seems to still be getting updates and support from the company when that game feels a lot more nothing given the fact that it's a mobile game. This new teaser for CrossWorlds kinda gives me a bit more faith along with the new hints that they for some reason didn't show off during the teaser or anything. I would have done just a 10-second snippet of gameplay to give off more of an example as to what the game is, but all we can hope for from here on out is another trailer with hopefully gameplay that gives people a better answer, whenever that's possible. And maybe the game could at least get some DLC or updates or something. I don't know, Sonic news is always a chore to keep up with. My best guess for the release of the game is either summer of 2025 or winter of 2025, since we have gotten zero gameplay. Now you all know why I'm not a fan of how Sega likes to tease their Sonic games. Anyway, feel free to share in the comments below what you would want from Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. I'm all ears. With that said, thank you guys for watching, comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a nice day.